am Bennett the Sage. How are you all doing tonight?
Yeah! Good! Yeah!
That is a better turnout than last night, I will admit. For those of you who are returning, my eternal gratitude. Change of plans. I don't think what I was planning to shoot here tonight is going to work out. I'm sorry, but so we got some good news. We got the secret episode working, and you all are in for a saucy treat.
Why saucy?
It's uncensored.
It's uncensored. That's why it's saucy.
I was hoping to start the word.
Quiet you.
If you don't know who I am, you're probably going to be very confused by this, but I think it will become clear soon enough. Enjoy.
I'll try.
So come on down to Abdul's Rape Emporium. You're not in the tri-state area. We have all kinds of rape. Gang rape, lesbian rape, she-bear rape. So much rape for you to enjoy. That is Abdul's Rape Emporium. Now a playpen for the kids.
That was the darkest sketch of the episode.
You just punched us right in the childhood, Bennett.
Thanks, Tony.
I think he probably makes a career out of
their
that.
childhood?
This is what follows a panel about children's cartoons.
Yeah.
Why not? Bennett the Sage. Yeah.
By the way, good luck trying to show that anywhere.
Oh no, I had the thing turned off during that.
Like you need evidence.
I need to
No, we've got post-traumatic stress disorder for that.
By the way, who's your lawyer so we can download some files to?
I figured I was gonna have to cut it anyway, so I turned the camera off during the majority of that.
It's the uncensored version. Where it just turns on.
Now you kind of understand why I show this only to conventions.
Yeah.
Yeah!
Don't worry, you just have to put little black bars everywhere.
That kind of defeats the purpose of the, censor Kaiser joke now, don't it?
Yeah.
Just put it on YouTube, everything goes
Hours of editing censorship later.
Yeah. Didn't have much planned after showing, so Q&A. Anything you want to know about myself or Channel Awesome? I know I did this Friday night, but fuck it, I gotta stall for time. Yes, Neil Gaiman.
What was more annoying, Ghost in the Shell 1 or Ghost in the Shell 2?
Oh, Ghost in the Shell 2. Oh, God. I actually got the first release of that, which was DreamWorks' release of that.
Oh, that's terrible.
Oh, yeah, they didn't have an English dub on it. It was just the subtitle version. And so you get Mamoru Oshii's distilled, concentrated, pure, what's the word I'm looking for?
Bullshit pretentiousnness.
Yes!
And you have to read it all.
And you have to read it, too.
Yeah, I had to hunt down the dub DVD after that.
Oh, dear. But to answer your question, Ghost in the Shell 2, I still like Ghost in the Shell 1. I like it a lot, if only for the visuals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The atmosphere was great. Ghost in the Shell 2, not so much.
You gonna watch the prequel that's coming out?
I didn't know there was actually a prequel coming out.
Just announced.
Yeah.
Just announced. Oh.
Series.
No, it's okay.
It looks more like a reboot at this point.
Yeah.
Prequel, whatever.
Prequel, whatever. I am so there.
Doesn't look like any of the ghosts. Doesn't quite look like any of the Ghosts in the Shells that come before, except for Aramaki so far. He'll never change.
Oh yeah, because he's an old guy who never gets any older. Thanks for coming, by the way.
Actually, he almost looks younger in these
They changed
pictures.
the characters. Almost.
Then again,
I gotta imagine what's their mindset coming into something they've never seen before, halfway through.
With no context.
No context whatsoever. Probably didn't even know who I was.
I feel sorry for the guys who walked in on the video.
You know,
Did you hear them laugh?
They'll go into the room next door with no context too.
Yeah, you.
Yeah.
Question, are you ever going to do the Gundam trilogy?
Gundam's tricky to talk about in general because...
Which one?
No.
In general, the meta series is tough to talk about because, like, the OVAs, like Gundam 0083, has like 13 parts to it. It's very difficult to summarize and get everything you want in it. I might keep it to like 0080 War in the Pocket, or maybe like the Waltz film.
Endless Waltz?
Endless Waltz, yes. Endless Waltz. Excuse me. But I don't know, once you open the Gundam chest, the evils are going to pour out over the series. They're going to have to deal with them in one way or another.
There's just way too much to cover.
Yeah, way too much to cover.
Who would you want to show End of Evangelion to? And yes, specifically.
Oh, I kind of wanted to show it to Kyle Conger and Owen Simpson, if only just to see him kind of try to deconstruct it.
Watch his little brain pop, dude.
No, I wouldn't say watch his brain pop. Just see how he could try to funk sway what he's seeing into any kind of meaningfulness. Yeah, that's what I'd show it to. Anyone else? Oh, come on, guys. I'll start picking people to ask questions. Right there.
He will, he's done it.
Have you seen the different versions of Those Who Hunt Elves?
I have not seen Those Who Hunt Elves. I've heard mixed things about it, and I'm usually very reticent to check out newer stuff.
Actually, well, it's had 3, well, they're going to have a 3rd version coming out. Yes, it got announced last week. That's another thing. It's got the weirdest gap because I think it started like late 80s, early 90s. There was one series. Then there was one like in the late 90s, early 2000s. Now they're going to have another one.
Exactly. That didn't come out until, like, an English localized version didn't come out until like 2004, I want to say, the 5.
I have a second question. I don't know if you've ever been to one, but when they were around. But have you ever seen the selections of shows they used to put out at Blockbuster Video as called classic anime?
Oh God!
I actually saw my anime not through Blockbuster, so my Blockbuster experience is non-existent. When I first started watching anime, it was actually through my brother. He was taking Japanese, and he learned Japanese by watching non-dubbed versions of DBZ.
Oh, okay.
So, you know,
it's just an interesting...
I don't know what he learned, if anything.
Yeah, back in the Japanese.
Yeah. Right there.
You learned how to power up.
1, where did the hat come from? And 2, where and what do you film with?
My hat came from the Dublin distillery. No, not Dublin distillery. It's the Jameson distillery in Dublin. And as far as I know, I've never seen another hat quite with this pattern before. So.
Why do you wear it?
Originally, I wore it to distinguish myself, to give myself some physical feature that's memorable. And I just went as my shirt and pants kind of guy. I'm just not very recognizable, but with this hat, which I think is one of a kind of hard to miss me in the crowd. And to answer your second question, I do all my recording on this camera right here. It's called the Canon Vixia. Lindsay hates it because I don't know why. And she has gone on great lengths about the scourge of Canon Vixia camcorders, but I like it.
So do I.
Yeah, it's.
Let's say everyone's got favorites.
Yeah, everyone has favorites. It's it's relatively high quality for its price. It's mobile, lightweight. It's just an all-around good camera. The only thing I don't like about it is that Canon, being who they are, uses bullshit proprietary hardware extensions. So if you want lighting kits or you want microphones, you have to get a mini shoe adapter if you want to get the better ones that are not Canon approved.
Actually, there is a way around that for shoe adapters and the like. You can just get a mounting bracket that screws into the bottom of your camera. You can attach microphones, lights to that, etc. And it gets around needing to buy their special shoe adapter, which is quite frankly a bit bullshit.
Yeah, among other things. But that's my only gripe with the camera. So, you had a question?
Is there anything you want to review, but it's like after your cutoff date?
I want to review with Brad if I can ever get the chance to. I want to do the anime version of Ricky, the story of Ricky.
Ricky-O?
Ricky-O, yeah. They call it the story of Ricky-O, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I got. Yeah, so I just like to see this this juxtaposition between the live action, which is already cartoony as all hell, and the actual cartoon.
It's insane.
Yeah, it is insane. But unfortunately, even though it was made in the 80s, it wasn't localized until 2005. So that was, technically after my cutoff date. But I might make a special exception if I can.
Crossovers are exceptions. I'm sure.
Yeah, crossovers are exceptions. It's all right. Any other question?
What's your prized position for anime for DVDs?
Prized possession. Probably my copy of Dracula Sovereign of the Damned on VHS. You still can't find it on Amazon, eBay for anything less than $50. It's that old and it works that well too.
Wow.
I don't know. So look, I'm glad I held on to it. Glad I stole it from my library. Well, I was 9.
Do I have to look back, darling?
No, he was 9. It's okay.
I was 9.
Stealing Dracula.
I forgot about it. Is Michael Myers after me? I hate overdue library books.
That's who we said.
Don't you know the Dewey Decimal System?
I had the VHS for the requisite. I think you could rent it for about a month. That was my library's rules. We're very lenient. But a month was just enough time for me to forget about it, and it stayed buried in my closet for about 4 years. And then I found it again, like, maybe I should return this. Went to the same library I remember renting it from, and said, we don't have this. Like, what? It's like, it's not in our files. Apparently between the interim for me getting the VHS tape and then switching over to a completely digital database, it went off the grid. So they lost the card, they lost the fact that they owned it, so it became mine. I tried to return it, and they said, nah, you can't keep it. It was so bad. It's like, no, just keep it. We don't want it anymore. Just keep it.
It's sold.
Thank God we got rid of that.
The curse is on them instead. It's like a werewolf curse. You can only give it to somebody else to get rid of it.
Well, you know, if you ever want
no, now that I know it's worth money to. No. Neil Gaiman again.
I'm only fairly new to being familiar with your site, so I'm about to ask a question which might make me look like an ass. Have you ever done MD Geist? Or what are your thoughts on MD Geist if you haven't?
I have not done MD Geist for one simple reason. It's just one of those animes that I think people have overblown its badness. Mainly because Central Park Media made it their mascot. And they tried their best to whore it out to as many people as possible. To not so good reasons. If I remember, I mean, they used freaking MD Geist as their logo, for Christ's sakes. And I watched it again just about a year or two ago, just to refamiliarize with it. And I just felt, wow, you know, it's bad, but not that bad. I mean, it became like old Otaku's favorite punching bag back in the day, just because everyone knew about it and everyone knew it was pretty bad. I mean, nobody really heard of Bad Bolt 34 before it blew up on the internet, and nobody really heard of, like, say, Garzy's Wing. But people remember MD Geist only because how hard Central Park Media tried to sell it. And here's the funny thing to me. They tried to make it better. They did a re-edit, they actually fixed the broken animation, they tried their darndest to salvage this turd pile. And for what it is, it does make it better, but what's the point? Now you just actually made it worse in a way. Now it's not even laughably bad, now it's just boring bad.
There's a review.
Yeah, right there.
What would you say, in terms of anime, your favorite bad anime is? What's your guilty pleasure?
Guilty pleasure.
Show me my mom.
Guilty pleasure anime. There's guilty pleasure in the sense that I really, really like Bad Bolt 34 up until that ending. Because, you know, it's just like, you're just watching it, it's like you're watching a train wreck. And that's, and I know you're not supposed to like anime like that, but you can't help yourself in some cases. But in guilty pleasure, in terms of, I guess I should really know better, or like, this goes against everything I stand for, probably Vampire Wars. Because I still hate everything with vampires, anything with vampires in it. And it has vampires in it. It has stupid vampire logic and everything, but it also kind of shits on the vampire lore in a weird way. And I just can't imagine anyone watching this would thinking like, yeah, they represent vampires very well. I want to show it to like someone who's hardcore vampire and just watch them lose faith in humanity just a little bit more. I hope these are for the guests. Who cares?
One of
No.
them is playing.
$5. Any, yes, right here.
This is a little bit after your cutoff date, but I wonder if anyone's told you about what's been called one of the greatest dubs of all time, Those Stories.
I've heard people ask me to review it. I haven't checked it out yet.
You have to.
Oh.
It's on the list.
Okay.
From what I'm hearing, it's on the list. Yeah?
What year is your cutoff date again?
Right now it's 2003. Any questions? Oh, right there.
How about Record of Lodos War 2, Chronicles of the Heroic Knight?
Oh, Lodos War is, I have to set aside Lodos War for a special occasion.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you'll understand why in some of the upcoming reviews you'll see.
Mm-hmm.
So, but rest assured, the at least Lodos War 1 is going to be on.
Ooh, very nice.
Yeah, why not?
Another question of, I might not have seen this video if it exists, but what about an anime where you like the anime, but the dub is just so bad?
The dub is so bad.
Everything else about the anime is great, just a terrible, terrible dub.
I guess if you want to stretch it, maybe Akira, because I reviewed the old dub of that.
Yeah, the streamlined.
I had the streamlined dub, and I wanted to approach that review from the mindset of someone who's seeing it for the first time in like the early 90s when they didn't know any better, and they couldn't look up the story, they couldn't find the comic books that it was based off of. And I think I got a lot of flack for that, because the dub screwed up that explanation of Akira's powers. They really, if you listen to how that, I forgot her name, Kay, I believe? Yeah, Kay.
Yeah, Kay.
Yeah, Kay explained it. She kind of jumbled her words and made it sound like the power came from amoebas when it didn't. She was trying to compare giving the powers of man to an amoeba and seeing like, oh, the destruction that amoeba would cause. That would be like giving Tetsuo the powers that he has. But it didn't really come off that way in the way she described it. She kind of mixed it up so it sounded like, wait, he got powers from an amoeba? And I got so much flack from that for commenters who missed the part of me explaining that, oh yeah, I'm looking at this from someone from 1992. Haters are gonna hate. Yeah, back there.
While we're still on that terrible dub topic, I'm wondering if you happen to have any copies of videos released from Home Video or Home Media. I can't remember the name. You know what I'm talking about, like the Star. I'm really for your Macross video.
100% just for kids?
No.
Oh yeah, I have some just for kids stuff.
Oh, like Wrath of the Ninja, Dagger of Kamui?
Battle for Moon Station Dalos. Yeah, I got Dalos.
Oh, they released like the first release of Macross and dub here, or
you mean like where they took over? Do you remember Love and turned it into Clash of the Bionoids?
Yeah,
I got that. I got that.
Did the first My Youth in Arcadia. And do you happen to have any copies of those? And what's your take on that?
I watched Clash of the Bionoids just to see how badly they screwed up Do You Remember Love? A seminal anime classic that we'll never get because Harmony Gold's a bitch.
Yes,
sub-license into Discotech.
Because we're never going to get Macross 7 as long as they have the fucking license.
Yeah, as long as Harmony Gold holds a license, we're not going to see a penny. And we're not going to see any more new Robotech toys either. So we lose on both ends, too.
Yeah.
Anyway. I watched Clash of the Bionoids and it was nearly unwatchable. It was so, like, if you've seen Do You Remember Love, it's one of the most beautifully animated films that Japan has ever released. And they had the nerve to cut 30 minutes out of it. And they not only did they cut 30 minutes out of it, it cut out parts where they kind of explained parts of the story. So now they created plot holes in the movie, and they gave it. They basically hired Hong Kong expatriates to voice the characters for kids. You understand? They don't care. Just show any crap in front of them. They won't care.
Yeah, cartoons are all for kids.
Never mind that you're shitting in the hearts of anime fans. A little touchy on that subject, I'll admit. Just a bit. Oh well, that's what bootlegging's for. That's the only way I'm like standing by bootlegging is if you are trying to bootleg an anime you can't get in America and never will get in America by legal means. You didn't hear me say that, okay? You're going to censor all of this out, okay?
Push.
I don't, don't quote me, boy, I ain't said shit.
I'll just beep it out. Make it sound like that was just a really long string of
expletives.
You holding up your hand?
Yeah, did you watch the remake of like Nazca and America?
Oh,
Nazca? Warriors of the Wind, it was called.
Oh. Yeah, I had completely forgotten about Warriors of the Wind. Thank you for reminding that. I should get to that pretty
I
soon.
actually enjoyed it, and then I saw the real one, and I stopped enjoying it.
I forgot. I actually saw Warriors of the Wind a long time ago. I didn't know it was called Warriors of the Wind when I first saw it. It was just one of those films that they plopped us down in daycare to show us, like, here, watch it. And I remember being kind of bored by it, really.
We did that with Great Fireflies when I was in 7th grade. They were like, hey, it's animated. The kids will love it. Watch Play the Orphans starve to death. That was fun.
That's how I first saw End of Evangelion. Hey, it's an animated series.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for bringing up Ninja Scroll. My brother, who's about 7 years older than me, he doesn't really keep up with what I do. But I show him, like, hey, this is what I, have some fun with some of the old anime that, remember watching some? It's like, hey, did you do Ninja Scroll? It's like, yeah, I did Ninja Scroll. Dude, you don't have no idea. I watched that with my Boy Scout troop when we had movie night. So there's a bunch of, like, 12-year-old boys just kind of watching, like, gore by the bucket load and, like, rape. And then he's like, it would have been kind of fine if the troop master wasn't just right behind us.
Could have been worse.
Looking over, it felt like he was guilty for enjoying it a little bit.
Ninja Resurrection.
That's what I was thinking about.
So earn this
Ninja Resurrection.
Okay, another question. Come on. All right, right here.
First of all, big fan.
Okay.
Pandering.
Now on to my actual question. What do you... I was going to ask a very complicated question about why do you think anime has become so prominent within North American nerd culture?
I think it's because it's different. I think there's just something that anime offers that traditional Western anime doesn't. It's also exciting in a way that that it's coming from a place that we don't really know a lot about, and it's an alienist of culture as compared to ours, and that is fascinating. What's one of the most premier destinations to go when you're traveling out of America? Japan. Is there any? It's just all I can really think about. Like, when I watch anime, I'm thinking about, like, okay, what are some of the cultural ideas that are at play here that's just at loss? That's just at loss, that I'm not getting through the dub, or it's just not getting through to me. And it makes me want to learn more. That's what I see personally. Well, we got a serious ass question here. Now let's get a goofy ass question. Come on,
Tom.
What? You were talking about this, all the bad dubbings that kind of ruined an anime. What if you ever met one of these voice actors that did this stuff?
I kind of had that happen to me, actually.
So you have that.
Well, vicariously. I know some voice actors are aware of what I do.
Right.
And one of my friends showed another voice actor one of my episodes. But it was Garcia's Wing.
Oh.
And he was watching it, and he was hearing me complain about it a little bit. And then he kind of, as the story goes, he chimes in. Now, here's the story of why that sounds weird. So apparently, what happened? Actually, now that I think about it, that story doesn't really apply here, does it? It's that I don't know what I'll do if I ever met let's say the guy who voiced the Meowth cop guy in Mad Bull 34. Guy's a disgrace to the force. That guy, I don't know what I'll do if I ever met that guy. Alan Marriott, that was his name. He's still working, by the way. Alan Marriott, he just doesn't do anime anymore. It's kind of a shame, too, because outside of that role, he wasn't that bad. Except for also maybe the X, he wasn't that great in. No, you know what, I take that back. He doesn't belong in anime. Yeah.
So has any voice actor ever found your videos and told anything about it, and what did they say? I'm just curious about the story.
Voice actor, like some voice actors are aware of what I do, but that's only because I have someone in my corner fighting for me, as it were. But like no one has ever gone up to me and said like, yeah, you don't understand, like fucking Steve Bloom loves your shit, man. Like I never had that happen to me. However, I did have my friend tell me like all the actors he's shown it to my show to, just like, yeah, it's actually not bad. They weren't too complimentary to me, but like, yeah, not bad. So I guess I'll take what I can get. I haven't heard back from Vic Mignogna yet, though.
You're not an 18-year-old girl.
No. Yes. Or 17.
Or 16.
Any question
on the internet?
Oh, back there.
Where did Censor Kaiser come from? Did I miss?
Back when I was editing the my and Brad's crossover with Dolomite 2, the Human Tornado.
Yes.
That was the first time I used them, and that was because I didn't want like black bars to censor all the nudity that I would have to censor. I just wanted something unique and eye-catching, and Scott Frericks, Kaiser Neko, had recently done a T-shirt promo where he just photoshopped his head just doing flat-headed like, oh, get steady, you know, that kind of, or like really over-the-top Japanese. And I thought, why don't I just use that cutout for his censor? And I asked him, it's like, hey man, can I borrow that to censor stuff?
So I guess this is your 5 minutes to end the panel where.
Okay. Maybe time for 1 or 2 questions. But I asked him, like, in no direct terms, like, hey, can I use your face to censor stuff? It's like, does that mean my head will be over dicks? Sometimes? Then yes. The man is gay as the day is long. Tom?
Okay, outside of hentai, what anime would you say has the weirdest plot you've ever seen?
Weirdest plot? Huh. I would say, if I had to guess, maybe, like the first thing that comes to mind is Crystal Triangle, but that never really got a dub, so I don't know like how much the subtitles really screwed it up, but maybe Vampire Wars, where it's basically about space vampires. Yeah, it's kind of like the stuff you're right about, isn't it? Yeah, it's basically space vampires, and that one of their lineage, of the royal lineages, somehow respawn to this one random woman that this other vampire wants to get. It's just a jumble-fuck mess, really. But that's what I think of when I think of weird anime plots. Probably going to be the last question. Oh, come on, you don't want to give Derek here the...
This one is actually a good one.
No.
Going once, going twice.
This is Derek.
Oh, wait, we got some newcomers here. We got time for one more question.
Uh-oh.
No.
He's trying, man. He's trying.
All right, time for redemption, Derek.
Let's go. Are there any dub actors who you like in other roles not related to anime?
Oh.
Ew. That is good.
Assuming they're dub actors
That
in other roles.
is good because most of the dub actors I'm familiar with, and I can pick out like, oh yeah, that's it. That's they don't do a lot of stuff outside of anime, unfortunately. They might do video game roles here and there, but the problem with being in anime is that it's a lot of non-union work. And if you have your name out in non-union stuff, and a lot of non-union stuff, the guild tends to frown upon that. So that's a lot of the reasons why people in the anime industry don't really branch out into Hollywood very often, except for one. And I guess this will have to be my answer, Bryan Cranston.
Oh. Yeah?
Yes, he does.
You guys, for those of you who don't know, Bryan Cranston actually voiced did some anime work back in the day. He did the lead for the lead for Macross Plus.
Yep.
Yeah, he was a Samu Dyson. He was a Samu Dyson.
Yeah, he was.
And now he's Walter White. So
he's Commissioner Gordon too. Batman Year One.
Like he did a lot of.
Walmart.
Yeah, so Bryan Cranston, I guess, will have to be my answer. I liked him as a Samu Dyson, and I also like him as Walter White.
Okay. And the dad, and nothing to
And with Lord, yeah, but I thought that went without saying.
Richard Epcar.
Richard Epcar, I don't really know him outside of anime, unfortunately.
He's voicing the Joker in the Injustice game as well as Mortal Kombat vs. DC. So he's starting to branch out more into video games.
A little bit, but like when you get into video games, it's kind of that sort of gray area. Some of it's union work, some of it's not.
Did you just say Richard Epcar doing the Joker?
Yeah.
Why does that sound so wrong in my head?
Have you listened to it?
Because
no, I haven't.
Then listen to it before. Listen to it.
Because Richard Epcar and Bato are one and the same.
Exactly.
And if you wanted to really stretch it, Myotis Mon as well.
I thought that made sense.
Yeah.
And Roy Fokker.
Oh yeah, you're right. He was Roy Fokker.
Yes, he
And
was.
Logo 13.
Oh yeah.
And Jigen from Castle Cagliostro.
You know, I get Epcar and Bo Billingsley mixed up a lot.
Bo, is a big tall black man for one.
Yeah, no, like physically, no, you're never gonna mix them up. But like, for some reason, when I think of like deep voice actors, Bo Billingsley and Richard Epcar, I get mixed up a lot, especially the
Have you watched Legend of Black Heaven yet?
Have not.
Okay, listen to Bo's version of OG Tanaka in that. It's definitely a stretch for him.
Yep, I think I got my 5 minutes are up, so wanted to thank you all.